Hi guys, I wanted to do a brief video on this Arizona avocado or Aravaipa avocado that I picked up from Seamus O'Leary. This comes from the large native avocado tree growing in the Aravaipa Canyon. It's, I don't know, 80 plus years old, and they've grafted it onto some sort of rootstock and created a variety that is supposed to be a good fit for the Phoenix area. Anyways, this tree I picked up in, I think, fall of last year, around September. Planted it. It went through the winter like a champ. We had an especially hard winter. I gave it no protection. It did just fine. There was no frost burn or anything, and I think it's because it's close to the side of our house. This is a two-story house, so it probably radiates a lot of heat, and it's tucked in with these walls on two sides, so you probably get a lot of radiant heat in this area, so it's what I consider to be a good microclimate. This is on the east side of the house, so it is, I want to say, close to noon or thereabouts, maybe a little after noon, and as you can see, the shade is moving out. I have 80% shade fabric over the top, and eventually I'm going to remove that. Seamus's advice early on, I don't know if it's changed or not, but he said give it protection for the first 2 years, and this is really going. I put on about a foot of wood chips, and it's been very beneficial to this plant, I can tell. So when I first picked this up, I want to say it was about down to there, and it looked pretty well balanced with the symmetrical branches all around the tree. There wasn't a whole lot of growth in the middle. A lot of these branches were bare in the, as you move in towards the trunk, a lot of those are bare. There were little spurs on them that started to form after I planted it, and I would say in the last month they started to flush out with vegetation. So we're probably going to see this thing get pretty densely foliated. So in the springtime it put out these large leaves, and they're starting to crisp. So these are very healthy leaves that are put out late spring, early summer, and they're now starting to crisp on the edges. This thing is, it had a lot of leaves that would turn yellow, and you can just pull them off like that. They just fall off, and it constantly flushes out with new leaves. This soil that I have it planted in, it likes pretty rich soil, as I understand it. I didn't dig down very deep. I only dug down a foot because I didn't want it to sink, and I wanted it to be on a mound that was kind of elevated. This soil is extremely heavy with caliche. So what I've done is amended it with sulfur. I core aerate. I add a lot of sulfur to this area, and it's knocked the pH down by about 50 basis points, maybe a little bit more. It's about 7.33 right now. I'd like to continue to apply the sulfur and get this soil to kind of just below 7 if I can, and try to maintain it there for these plants. As you go down deeper, it'll become more alkaline again. These trees have shallow roots, so I don't think that you need to go very deep with these, but I would like to break up that caliche and have it so it doesn't hold the water in the soil, so you don't have problems with waterlogged soil or waterlogged clay. The clay holds the soil, and it can lead to root rot and other problems. Anyways, I'll provide an update video probably next year and let you know how this tree is progressing. I did put on a mixture of 50% latex paint, white paint, to protect it from sunburn. What I saw was that the morning sun was kind of causing this to yellow out a little bit in here. It wasn't burned, but it was yellowing out a little bit, so I put that on. That's what a lot of the growers in California and elsewhere do to protect these plants, especially while they're young. What I'm seeing is this growth on the ends is really weighing down on these branches. As you can see, that's kind of rolled over to the side there. And eventually I'm going to raise the canopy on these, but I'm debating on whether I should tip these branches and let it put a lot of its vigor into growing upwards, and then letting it grow as it would like, more or less, just to kind of keep these branches from being weighed down. Anyways, that's the status of this tree. Right now we just entered into we're at the first or second day of September, I think September 2nd, and this tree has handled the summer heat quite well with this 80% shade fabric in this area where it's protected by the house. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'll provide an update video later.